What bottles of bourbon did I get for the month of March? Let's find out. What's going on, everybody? Nathan here with the Everyday Drinker, bringing you guys a brand new video. Today we're going to go over the bottles of bourbon that I was able to get my hands on for the month of March. Before we get into the bottles, I want to thank you guys so much for the love and support for the channel. Make sure you guys are smashing that subscribe button, because at 3,000 subscribers, which is coming very, very soon, I'm going to let you know what the 5,000 subscriber giveaway is going to be. Also, check out the link down below to the merch store if you want your Everyday Drinker merch, and check out the Patreon down below. Helps out the channel like you wouldn't believe. I am planning a patron blind with a bunch of different bourbons for the patrons, so if you want in on that, make sure you check out the Patreon down below. But without further ado, let's get into the bottle number one. Bottle number one goes to Fiddler Heartwood. Now this right here is the SLB pick, and man, oh man, is this stuff delicious. This right here is bottled at 57.3% alcohol. It's from the ASW Distillery down there in Atlanta, Georgia. This is a single barrel cask strength. This is a wheated bourbon, and it is dark as heck. And I don't know how they get it this dark. This bottle right here is really good. It's got a really dark sugar with a beautiful molasses on that tail end of the finish that it just makes me want to keep going back for more. It's my only Fiddler on the shelf, and I am darn sure going to be picking up more of these because these are just some really good wheated bourbons. Bottle number two goes to Knob Creek 9-year, and I just uploaded a video last week on my top 5 bottles of bourbon that I think are just as good or maybe even better than the E.H. Taylor small batch. And this being a 9-year age-stated 100 proof bourbon sitting at that $35, $36 mark is a workhorse on my bar. I swear by this bottle to the day I stop drinking bourbon, or the day I die. This bottle will always be on my shelf. I will always have a backup of this bottle because it is just that good, whether it's neat, on the rocks, in a cocktail, whatever this bottle of bourbon may be, this is always going to be one of those bottles on my shelf. Bottle number 3 goes to Evan Williams 1783. And this bottle right here will be the one bottle of bourbon that I will always pour for somebody who doesn't understand what a good, cheap bottle of bourbon can be. This right here, it's a $20, $21 bottle of bourbon. Some places will have it on sale for $18 or $19. And for a 90 proof bottle of bourbon, I will always have a bottle of this bourbon on my shelf. I know a lot of people are hesitant because of that name of Evan Williams and their regular black label. You know, it's just not that good of a bottle of bourbon. But this one right here, it's a delicious pour, and I will always have it on my shelf, and that's why I got a backup of it. Bottle number 4 goes to the Jack Daniel's Distillery limited release. Now, this is a Tennessee only release, I believe, and this bottle right here is sent to me by an amazing subscriber, James Street. Can't thank you enough. As you can tell, I've had a couple of pours out of this bottle. The day he sent it to me, I cracked this open because it intrigued me so much. And this one right here, it's straight Tennessee whiskey finished with toasted pecan wood chips. This is the limited edition, and this is a 375 milliliter bottle. And I wish it came in 750s because I would just buy this right up and I would drink it all day long. This right here, one of my absolute favorite bottles that I've received from somebody, and I wish I had a backup of it. And bottle number 5 goes to the Larceny A123, the first release of the Larceny wheated barrel proof bourbons of 2023. This one right here, it's bottled at 125.8 proof. And as you all know, this is the same mash bill as the Old Fitzgerald, just not as old. And the Old Fitzgerald's always bottled in bond at 100 proof. These ones might have a little bit more complexity to them being at that barrel proof, but it doesn't have that creaminess that a lot of those Old Fitzgeralds have. So this right here is the closest thing I will most likely get my hands on to an Old Fitzgerald ever, unless one of those just happens to land at my doorstep and it's for free or it's at MSRP, which I highly doubt will ever happen. Bottle number 6 goes to the Penelope Valencia. Now this bottle right here is part of their Cooper series. It's bottled at 97 proof and it's finished in Vino de Naranja casks. Penelope puts out fantastic offerings that are completely different than anything else. You know, their finishing series are really, really a beautiful pour. I can't wait for their Rio to come out, which is finished in honey casks and Amberonic casks. That's going to add so much of a complexity to that bourbon, and I'm super stoked for it. And this Penelope the Valencia, finished in those Vino de Naranja casks, which is orange wine, I believe, from Spain, adds a beautiful orange citrus note in there. I'm really excited to make a old fashioned with this bourbon with orange bitters, orange peel, maybe a little bit of an orange syrup. Just go all out orange, and I will be darn sure to let you know how that old fashioned comes out, because this right here is darn good by itself, and I can only imagine that mixing this make it even better. Bottle number 7 goes to Woodford Reserve. Now this is one of the staples on my shelf. I usually always have a bottle of this, and we have a really fun experiment with this bottle that we are going to be going over here in the near future. You will find out what that is. But this right here, it's always a go-to pour on my shelf. Makes a really good drink. I usually actually enjoy Woodford Reserve on the rock a little bit more than I do neat. I just think it might have a little bit more of that tannic oakiness in there that I really don't prefer a lot of the times, but when you put it over a nice large rock ball, it really mellows that down a little bit, and I really enjoy Woodford, honestly, on a rock. And one more bottle before we get into the 2 really cool bottles that I was able to get my hands on for the month of March. And bottle number 8 goes to another Penelope Toasted barrel. Now this one is a single barrel from Wegmans here in New Jersey. It's bottled at 114 proof. This one right here is aged 3 to 5 years. It's a char level 2 with a toast of heavy. Now, this one right here, it's a very, very burnt marshmallow. It's got a lot of toastiness in there. You get a lot of char. It's a heavy toast in there. That adds a lot of that beautiful darkness in there. Not bitter, very, very sweet. One of my absolute favorites that I have picked up out of these Penelope Toasted barrels. And bottle number 9 is one that just landed in my hands the other night that I wasn't at all expecting to get my hands onto. And that bottle goes to the first ever Penelope single barrel. This right here is the Central Jersey Bourbon Society's first ever group pick. Now, how did I get my hands on this bottle? Well, I went to a bottle share and I brought a bottle of the Painted Staves bottled in bond 100 proof bourbon, a small distillery out of Delaware. Fantastic bottle, but I wanted to share it with a bunch of people because not a lot of people have heard about the Painted Stave, and it was a killer bottle. A lot of those guys enjoyed that, but somebody had brought a bottle of this Penelope. Now this was the Central Jersey's first ever group pick, and the 2 main admins are friends with the guys over at Penelope, and Penelope wanted to do a barrel pick for them. And this right here was the first ever Penelope single barrel. Somebody brought an extra bottle that they had, and they let me take it home, and I am so, so happy for it. But without further ado, we're gonna get into the big boy of the haul. And bottle number 10, the one that I was the most excited to get my hands on for sure, goes to the Old Forester single barrel proof rye, the green label. I don't know how hard this bottle is to get for a lot of people, but when I see this here in New Jersey, it's usually going for $250, $300. When I saw it at my local store for the price of $85, I had to snag it. One of my absolute unicorns that I was so stoked to get my hands on. This one right here is out of Warehouse 6 from Floor 3, bottled at 128.1 proof. Man, I am just so ecstatic that I was able to get my hands on this bottle. And every single bottle on this bar top right now that I was able to get my hands on this month, I'm just so ecstatic to actually be able to enjoy a lot of these, let you know, give you the input and the feedback on these bottles to let you know if it's worthy of your money to be spent. And I enjoy that. I enjoy the interaction throughout the comments. Everything about this is just an absolute dream that I can't thank you guys enough for. So let me know down in the comments what bottles of bourbon or rye or whiskey or scotch or Irish whiskey, whatever you picked up this month, let me know down in the comments below. Until next time, it's been Nathan with the Everyday Drinker. Cheers.